We're about to open over 300 PI packages. I just finished unboxing my PI that I got this week. Look at the aftermath. Holy shit. So, I blacked out. Let's do my biggest luxury unboxing literally ever. Note says, fingers crossed you move to NYC and can shop more often.
I know it, I just can't prove it. That the way that she receives products and the amount of stuff that she has in her life has resulted in this haul. And or because so many people are finding overconsumption taxing, overwhelming, exhausting online, that there is also that incentive to do a haul like this. Hey guys, it's Briar and let's chat about it. So it's no secret that a big part of being an influencer is receiving, reviewing, and buying stuff and things, right? It's kind of the whole shtick. To be on the pulse of new products, to review and recommend them to your audience. But at what point does it become too much? At what point do you end up just being surrounded by stuff that you couldn't even use it all, even if you tried? And also, how does that impact your relationship on having and constantly purchasing stuff and things? Right. And that is exactly what I wanted to chat about with you guys today, and specifically in the case of Mikayla Nogueira, because her most recent content truly does feel like she is going for the nachos, the crown, the Olympic gold of overconsumption final boss, top overconsumption influencer, and of just having the most stuff and things. And how she really seems to be leaning into this type of content because it is so divisive. And to me, maybe what is even maybe more interesting is how this impacts every aspect of her as a creator and a consumer. Because when you are constantly receiving more stuff than you know what to do with, where it's coming out of each and every wazoo, how it ends up impacting her relationship with consuming, how it ends up impacting the way and the rate that she purchases things, and also the way and the rate that she recommends things to her audience. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around and let's get into it. Another reason that I thought that this topic was so interesting is because, if you can bloody believe it, I did my underconsumption core video over a year ago now. How time flies. But I think it is so interesting to see how things have just progressed and developed over that past year, and how some influencers really seem to just be leaning into it because it does get such a controversial reaction and does induce likes, clicks, and engagement. And in Mikayla's case, seem to choose to do this without considering what it is at the expense of. So the kind of overview that we have for this video, for the yaps that I am planning to yap about. Yes, it's true, I do plan to yap. So the three kind of main topics, prongs, categories, category is, whatever you want to call it, that I want to kind of cover in this video is A, her makeup routines and ever-changing collection and favorites and recommendations, right? Because when you are receiving so much product, that is what is directly impacting what you recommend to your audience. And also, if you are even able to remember, oh, maybe I already reviewed this product and I gave it a bad review, but now that this brand is coming to me with the Shania Twain ka-ching, we live in a greedy little world. Did anyone love that album? Anyway, changes your opinion, right? Funny how that can influence our opinions on things. But that is prong A, category A, topic A, which then leads into topic B, which is the PR of it all, the amount of PR that she receives, and how it seems to so greatly distort the amount of stuff that you just take in and accumulate at once, and how that seems to impact how she purchases personally or for other things, because that then leads into category 3, which is her personal purchases and hauls that she brings online, and how it seems like prong A and prong B, those seem to directly impact how she personally chooses to consume, and how this overconsumption and how this inundation of stuff warps your perception of what is normal to purchase in one go, and not even in just the monetary sense, but in the psychological, the big brain sense of it all, of how can you actually appreciate and use and value and treasure every single one of these things when it's so much at once? So that's just a little overview, a little teaser, silly me just being a little teaser. Unfortunately, I'm not filming this video on a Friday. I know, I hear the boos, the tomatoes, don't throw your tomatoes, please. But as I'm sure we all know, Friday is TLOAS. It doesn't roll off the tongue like TTPD did, but basically Friday is Taylor Swift, The Life of a Showgirl album day. So that day is booked and busy. So we're not getting a sassy Friday filming session, but let's see like what a midweek filming session gives us, what kind of a personality trait comes out. I don't know. I think it's kind of silly. I am feeling a little bit silly, but not sassy. It's true. Sassiness for some reason is my main personality trait on a Friday. But anyway, let's get into it, shall we? Topic 1 is all about the products that Mikayla recommends as well as her own personal collection. And I think this is important and relevant because it lays down a lot of groundwork into the bigger yaps and conversations that we get into, but also because a lot of Mikayla's controversy and lack of trust from a lot of people stems from the fact that her opinions and product recommendations are forever changing with what is hot and cool and fun and fresh. And more concerningly is a trend that people have noticed where her opinions change depending on whether it's a spawn or non-spawn. And the concerning pattern that people have noticed where raggy, it seems like you can change your mind and your opinion once that brand is paying you. And of course, I'm not trying to negate the fact that a huge part of her job is to try new things, is to be on the pulse, is to review, is to be up with the 411, knowing what the what the sitch is. You know, I totally understand that is an important part of her job. And I'm not trying to Britney Spears hold it against her. But I think that there is an extent and a line and a hope that with trying all these products, the opinions wouldn't be swayed because it's now spawn. But also equally, it seems like when you are trying that much stuff at that fast and rapid of a rate, it really brings into question how reliable your recommendations even can truly be. Don't know what those words were. Like we discussed in my video about her brand, a lot of concern was raised because Mikayla never uses skincare for long enough or isolated enough to even be able to attribute the results to that product. And so when she came out with her own brand, it felt very unlikely, especially reflecting back on her content, that she had used only her products in isolation for long enough to show her audience the changes and the differences that it made in her skin. And I feel like that is the case with a lot of things that she recommends. She tries a lot of new things all at once. And it's like when you're doing a whole full face of new products, yes, it's more bang for your buck, more reviews in one, but also when you're trying a new foundation, concealer, powder, all of those things at once, how can you truly know what product is doing what? Like, yes, to an extent, but if something goes wrong or something doesn't look good, is it because the powder, foundation, and concealer don't layer well? Is it because one product doesn't work well with the other? Like, it really does bring into question how reliable those types of recommendations can be, because when you are using so many products and you maybe just use one in a once-off scenario with a bunch of new products that you're not really used to, it really brings into question, how are you going to know if something's wrong? Why? And I feel like this is really important groundwork to lay down, because this is the direct relationship that Mikayla has with her audience. This is directly what she is recommending to her audience and how she is choosing to go about those recommendations, and how this overconsumption, this more, all we ever want is more. I feel like this is probably such a niche song, but the song Ka-Ching by Shania Twain is so important to this conversation. And I will continue to sing the lyric, and I'm not sorry. And I think that you should all go listen to the song if you haven't after, because I mean, her voice is beautiful. And also the song is from like the early 2000s, so imagine what Shania thinks of all of this right here, right now. But anyway, as I was saying, this is important because it shows how this overconsumption, this more, this buying everything, this receiving so much PR manifests in how she recommends products to her audience, manifests in this constant message of constantly trying, constantly recommending, constantly saying it's her favorite, go to part 2. It's endless, right? It feels endless because the consumption, the product she receives, the thing she buys in her life is also endless. And I think it's really easy to be like, well, just don't buy it. Just don't listen. You don't need the new, the more, the everything. But I remember being obsessed with beauty YouTube in the 2010s. I'm sure a lot of us are here do. Me talking to my 2 dogs, and one of them was born in 2020. My pug, she was there. It was rare. She was there. And I remember, like, it's not like they're saying you have to buy every single thing I'm recommending, but when you see these successful, beautiful influencers with amazingly done makeup, the subliminal message, the undertone, the subconscious message that's percolating around in my unformed brain. I think it fully forms at like in your mid-20s, right? So I was still forming my prefrontal cortex or whatever. The message that rung around was that is aspirational. That is something I want. I wanted a beauty collection. I wanted Alex straws. I wanted to have 10 foundations. I don't need 10. I don't fake tan. I don't even naturally tan. I only ever needed one shade. But when you see these people that you look up to and you think they do their makeup really well and you want to be like that and you see them being successful, you can't help but subliminally take away from that this is normal, that amount of product is normal, you should be buying more stuff, you shouldn't be using your foundation, your products, your powder until you finish it, and instead you end up adding to your collection at a rate that is greater than the one that you are using it. And so I did want to show you guys a couple of examples of her opinion changing in the spawn versus non-spawn, just so you know I'm not talking out of my ka-ching. And then I will also wanted to show you guys an example of her recommending, like, you have to, these are the best products on the market a couple months apart. And like, well, we'll see. Okay, so let's start with the changing in opinions.
I want to like this. I do. I want to like it. But the wand is too big and it works almost too well. Like, once you get those brow hairs in place, they are stuck. And it's actually a little bit difficult to get off. Makes my brows look pretty good, but I just really prefer my NYX Brow Glue. I also find that the pencil I use like every day does not go on as smoothly when I use this brow. Gatsby gel. They came out with a brow gel called Glued. Wow. All right, let's see. I'm going to do a soap fluffy brow. My brows, it feels really nice and cold. Okay. Easily combed through. I know something though, my brows look so good. A bit of darkness still coming through, even though I did 2 layers. For the concealer, I'm gonna pass. I think it's just like a whatever concealer. It didn't cover what I like concealer to cover. Keep me covered concealer. This is full coverage. Look at my skin. Crazy. Essence, affordable, high quality, all at the drugstore. You don't need high-end makeup, babe. You need Essence.
And maybe I included 2 examples for those who are fans of me constantly talking about 2 nickels. But to be honest, there are a lot more examples than that. And don't you guys worry. I totally understand that your opinions can change, but it does feel not coincidental. Like, that's an interesting coincidence that your opinions seem to always change in a positive direction when the money involved is also going up in a positive direction. You know, like, is that suspicious and weird? I guess I'll let you guys decide. But now I wanted to show you guys 2 videos that are a couple months apart of her recommending a full face of product, just so you guys can get a vibe of how much she recommends and how it is constantly changing.
This is a full face of the best makeup on the market right now. None of the bullshit. Only the best shit. The Caudalie Vino Perfect Serum. This is the best eye serum I've ever tried. MAC Hyper Real. Don't get it twisted. Affordable makeup can be bomb too. The NYX Face Glue, one of my favorite grip-in primers. As Light Reflecting Makeup Mist, I cannot choose one foundation. I can never choose one foundation. So we have the 3 M's to make it easy. Milk, Make, and Maybelline. There are a lot of mixed opinions on these rare beauty liquid contours. I think they're amazing. The Fui Glow Blushes, the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place. These are my top 2 setting powders, so I'm gonna use both. To powder bronzer from Polite Society. I am so happy that these were not just pretty packaging. Best lip liners, period. Makeup by Mario. I am beyond in love with these. The Patrick Ta Shadow Duos. The liquid liner. Do I really even need to say this? House Labs Mascara. This lashes on the market. P. Louise. This is the best makeup on the market. I don't care. I said what I said. I've tried every single makeup product out there. Leaf Lifting Eye Gel. It is the best milky toner on the market. This is the best serum to soothe. What did they put in this? The Tatcha Dewy Milk Moisturizer. Elf ate with these. This is one of the best skin tints I've ever tried. If you want the best full coverage concealer on the market, it is ABH. The Contour Bronze, the About Face Sticks. Hailey Bieber ate with her blush sticks. This is the Huda Beauty Powder. We have powder bronzer that is more buttery and blurring than the Polite Society one. 2 honorable mentions for blush. First, the YSL blush, and then the Kylie Cosmetics blushes. This Fenty powder is the best brightening powder I've ever used. Polite Society took 2016 highlighter and modernized it. Esmin Atelier lip liners. Some of the best lipsticks I have tried are Lawless. ABH liquid liner has been a favorite for years. Simply cannot go wrong with Lily Lashes Miami. One size. They dominate with their setting sprays, and that's for a reason. First, I'm gonna go in with the powder melt, and then the mattifying SPF spray.
And I did edit those videos down just to kind of condense it, but also to show you just how many products each video recommends. Only for a couple months later, there to be so many other recommendations. I also found it very interesting that, like, in the first video, there were 3 foundation products, and I just feel like, again, it's this mindset of, because of course, yes, she has so many foundations, she can do this, but like for your everyday person that wants to have a nice foundation, you do not need 3 of them to make the perfect foundation. This is something that has come out of this overconsumption and having so much stuff that you kind of do Frankenstein things together, but also jam in more recommendations. And like I said before, I felt like this was important to show because it lays down the groundwork, yes, but it also shows the direct way that she recommends products and how having so much makeup a product to constantly recommend directly impacts the relationship that she has with her audience. Because I feel like a lot of people like to play devil's avocado and they're like, and say she can do what she wants. It's not her fault that everyone wants to send her products. And like, yeah, that's true to an extent, but it also does directly impact the relationship she has with her audience, with the way she recommends products to her audience, with the amount of product that she recommends to her audience, and seemingly, just in some people's observation, how her opinions can change from spawn to non-spawn. And she's not even very good at disclaiming that in the first place, but that's such a side tangent, which really I feel like leads us into the PR of it all. And once again, I'm going to reflect back on the 2010s YouTube beauty gurus of it all, because I'm not saying that Mikayla is like unique or new in receiving this much PR, right? Like, I feel like we all remember the Tati PR videos that she used to do, and her whole background would be filled with PR. People would get so much stuff. I remember Shannon so did them, like everyone basically did them, and the PR would just constantly escalate and get more extravagant over time because they wanted their PR box to be included in the unboxing to stand out. So it really just became like a, you know, a one-upping competition in the world of PR, and I feel like we still have that today. I feel like we still have this extreme sending from a lot of brands, sending every shade when you really don't need it. I do know a lot of brands now will be like, what is your shade? And that makes a lot of sense, because it's like, no, you really don't need every shade. Yes, you can give them away and donate them, but then that relies on the influencer to do that. So I'm definitely not saying that Mikayla started the trend or was the first one to have these like megalodon sized PR boxings and PR hauls, or even to unbox them for content or use the products they receive for giveaways. Like, I feel like all of that, we've seen that before. I think I've seen this film before, and it ended in a Dragon, you know, like, we've been there, done that. But I do think we have to acknowledge the amount of PR that influencers at Mikayla's level receive. Totally optional, by the way. Like, they choose to accept it. They can remove themselves from PR lists. They can choose who to receive PR from. This is definitely something that they choose to receive. And again, I understand that this is her job. And again, I understand that there is an importance to receiving products ahead of time or right on the launch so that they can review them and put them in their content and be timely and, you know, make the content for being a beauty guru. Like, I get that aspect of it, but you can still be selective of the PR you receive. You can still choose to not receive hundreds of boxes a month. Because again, what I think we see from this PR is it builds on this warped perception of how much product you have, how much product you receive, how much product you can even use, to the audience, how much product they should be buying, to the audience, how much you should be recommending, and having that pressure to constantly feel like you need the new thing. Because this new pink blush is, yes, looks completely the same on your skin, it's not cool and new. So it really doesn't matter if you're using that pink blush or that pink blush. There's this constant need to get the newest, coolest pink blush. Do you guys even know what I'm saying? It leads into this overwhelming chaos of unboxing, of product, of receiving things. And for Mikayla, as a person receiving stuff, it normalizes taking in that much stuff, having that much stuff, having that big of a collection, because you are constantly receiving hundreds and hundreds of packages from brands that are desperate for you to include their products, because she is influential and because her opinions do sell products. Like, whether or not you like her, agree with her, or disagree with her, what she says and what she recommends does sell out, does get bought by the audience. So I wanted to show you guys a couple of clips from her most recent PR unboxing. It's just going to be like a little highlight reel, but I just wanted to give you a vibe and energy so you can understand just the extent of the PR that she unboxed this month.
We're about to open over 300 PR packages. This is the most amount of packages I have ever received. This is gonna take me hours. Oh my God, you're gonna start to see me get all the holiday kits. I'm giving every single one of these to you guys. It's from Dior. It's heavy. Oh, a camera? Whoa! These are their new lipsticks. Wait, these actually look insanely nice. These are from my LV haul, but they arrived a couple days late. Beautifully wrapped. I loved these, and they are so me. Okay, not the top secret. Just for your eyes only, but I didn't sign an NDA. So, boom! This is from Fenty. Is she dropping a hair mist? These are gonna be body mists exclusive to Ulta. Ooh, Givenchy. These are their new bronzes. I cannot tell you how excited I am to try these. Touchland fall fragrances. I already got this in the mail, so giving it to you. Sniff did a collab with Levain cookies. This is literally a candle called Mornings at Levain. Oh my God. Dude, I bought 2 more of the Tree Hut Cinnamon Dolce. When I tell you this is the best scrub they've ever come out with. It's incredible. We have a package from Tony Bianco. Cute little white heel. I will absolutely wear these. And these red heels, these are absolutely fire. New Natasha Denona palettes. How gorgeous is this? I already bought these, so I'm gonna put these in the giveaway. Ooh. Y'all, this is the Skintific Cushion Foundation. It's actually incredible. You've seen me try it. And there's actually quite a lot of shades. Holy shit. I think I'll have enough CosRX for the next 10 years. This is a very big package. Not the money gun. MCO Beauty products are honestly so good, and these are some of their top sellers. This is the aftermath. My whole kitchen dining room floor is covered in boxes. Just to kind of break it down, this is all clothes and shoes I received. I put everything into bags, take it upstairs, and organize it the best I can.
I hope that really gave a little compilation of the over 300 packages that she received. And I feel like these top comments are really reflective of how people feel when they see these things now, because the top comment says, I know it's not your fault, but the fact that celebrities are given so much free stuff and there's people out here with nothing, these companies need to do better. Capitalism, final boss. And then I thought this comment was very interesting. Anyone else window shopping? Confirming that people do look out for the cool, fun, whatever stuff that Mikayla gets sent, because if she likes it, that gives it the seal of approval. And also a lot of comments talking about so excited for the giveaway, can't wait for the giveaway, which leads me into this video.
Guess what time it is?
What time is it?
Time for a 17 million giveaway. This might be the biggest giveaway we've ever done.
And I'm one of the prizes.
I hit 17 million and couldn't think of a better way to give back to you guys for everything you've done for me over the last 5 years. We have major prizes like a Dyson Airwrap, the POV PR box, a Louis Vuitton bag, Sephora, and Ulta gift cards. And every makeup and skincare brand you can think of is in this giveaway.
So she recently just hit 17 million followers on TikTok, and from that PR unboxing, she has used a lot of the products to be a part of this mega giveaway. I had a look on Instagram and it looks like there will be 5 winners, so that amount of product is going to be split across 5 people, which is still an insane amount of product to receive. But I think the really interesting thing about what we see with this product being used for giveaways is that it feels like people treat giveaways as if it's like a get out of jail free card. Like it's as if receiving all that stuff, it's like as if it just justifies receiving all of that stuff because she does these giveaways. But it kind of completely glosses over the fact that giveaways actually do a lot for the creator too. It gets a lot of engagement because you have to comment and follow and all that blah 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 stuff on their accounts to have basically a lottery chance of winning one of the 5 prizes. So in reality, it still comes up and swings around in Mikayla's favor to receive all of this product, because even though yes, she may have to deal with the admin of doing the giveaways, it still generates a lot of engagement. It still does a lot for her content. It makes people want to win. It makes her look good because she's giving this product back to her community. But what it really just ends up doing is glossing over the bigger issues with receiving this much product that she chooses to receive. I feel like, again, I have to say, she chooses to receive this product, and I can't help but wonder if it's because it receives such a reaction, if it's because overconsumption and having so much product is such a controversial and engagement driving topic that opening a couple of boxes of PR, boring, yawn. But if you have over 300 boxes, exciting, controversial, wow. And then what I thought was really funny is that a couple of videos after her PR unboxing, she does this video where she says, I bought all of the new makeup so that I'm going to review it for you. But then in the comments, she's like, okay, yeah, it was a mix of the PR I received and products that I bought. So either way that you kind of spin that, it's like, okay, so you are spinning that you're buying products when you actually received it in PR. So shady boots, okay, whatever. But the other side of that is she could definitely just go out and buy those products and try them. But also, even after receiving over 300 PR boxes, she's still going out and buying more stuff because the recommendations, the products coming in, like it truly is so much and so endless. And to me, I feel like the biggest takeaway of having this much PR stuff is like it just completely like melts and warps your brain into thinking what is a normal amount of stuff to have, to open, to get in one go. And I think the craziest thing is that she does an unboxing like this basically every month, because let me show you a video from last month, or I guess August now is 2 months ago, but you know what I mean. It's only just become October, guys.
To show you something slightly disturbing, I just finished unboxing my PR that I got this week. Look at the aftermath. Holy shit. It looks like I'm ready to be on an episode of Hoarders.
Yeah, okay, bro.
Oh my god, wait, there's an open poppy in there somewhere. Oh god, it's leaking everywhere. Oh fuck.
No, it's just right here.
Oh boy.
You threw away.
Alright, while Cody cleans the mess, this literally covers my entire living room, dining room, and kitchen floor. This is everything I unboxed. Yeah, my parents are literally coming over to help me tackle this and get it all in the recycling. I give like 90% of this away to you guys. I do not keep all of this. I literally can't. I don't have anywhere to put it. So, I'm so grateful. Can't say that Cody is a fan.
It's Christmas every day.
Oh, Cody has decided to consolidate. Oh, are you gonna help out, or are you just gonna stare?
And maybe I'm totally reading into something that isn't there, but when he said it's Christmas every day, it kind of just like made 2 of my brain cells spark together and be like, it must be really hard and strange to have someone in your life that just literally receives and gets gifted everything. Like, it must be so strange, like, that you can't even really buy them anything because they already have everything. Or if we remember back to my Cullen jewelry video, she literally upgraded the engagement ring that he sold his truck for and bought for her with a ring from a brand that she did a collaboration #ad, #gifted, #sponsored with. And I remember in that video, she was like, oh, well now don't you guys worry. I will be wearing this all the time. It's so big, it's so pretty, it's so shiny. I don't think I've seen her wear her old or new rings in any video that we've watched so far. And like, sure, it's her choice and her prerogative whether or not to wear her rings. But when she said, oh, this collab was gonna make me do that, and then it didn't, like, I feel like I can't help but now see those things as like, is anything off limits for this mentality? Because she said she upgraded the ring because she wanted her dream ring and her other ring didn't fit anymore and all of this blah, blah, blah. And this ring she's going to wear forever now. But that clearly hasn't happened. And you just can't help but wonder, it's like that you're constantly receiving and doing all of these things and turning your personal life and your personal stuff into PR and brand opportunities. And it just kind of waters down the sentimentality behind anything, and it just kind of feels a bit strange. Anyway, to take it back to the Shania Twain ka-ching of it all, lots of diamond rings, the happiness it brings, you'll live like a king with lots of money and things. The song feels so prophetic. But anyway, let's move into now what I feel like has definitely gone super viral and has raised a lot of dynamic debates, shall we say, and that is her personal purchases. But before we can get into her personal purchases, I have planned a sidebar. I have planned a little bit of a tangent, but I do think it's really important because I think this video could potentially relate into what like led into these personal purchases that she did recently, and just in general. And I also do feel like it's important to discuss like when the criticism of Mikayla does go too far and just ends up being really negative and unhelpful and hurtful for like everybody involved.
I want to address something that's been heavy on my mind for quite a while: my appearance and what I look like. I've said this a million times and I will defend it until I'm in the grave, that there are no filters on my videos. There's constant confusion about why I look different in person than in my videos. I want to make something very clear. I am aware that I'm not an attractive person. Sorry, I don't know why I'm fucking getting emotional over it. I'm aware that I'm not, like, aesthetically pleasing to look at or, like, photogenic. It's really easy to take a bad photo of me. I don't have the best side profile, which I've talked about and I've shown. Sorry. Ugh. Anyways, I don't know why I look different in person.
So yes, that was just the beginning of the video. It is 9 minutes long, so I just wanted to kind of show you that kind of first minute so you could really get a vibe of the energy in that video and of how she talks about herself. And I think it's just really sad to see her speak about herself that way and to feel that way about herself. And I think it really does highlight how the criticism of Mikayla does go too far and does turn into like a place that is just really unkind. I feel like a lot of that criticism did stem from like mascara gate and people like calling her out for using filters or using the fake lashes. And it really did just spiral into people taking every single picture of her, taking any sort of like paparazzi or picture of her and just completely and utterly tearing her apart and turning the conversation into something that is just unnecessary and also invalidates genuine criticisms. When I see someone talking negatively about someone's looks and picking them apart to that level, I can't help but feel like about it, you know, like I can't help but feel like it just takes away from any potential valid criticism they have, because they end up fixating on how Mikayla looks. Like she can't be this size of dress or pant or whatever. I understand the criticisms when it's relevant to reviewing a product, but I just can't help but feel like at some point the message got lost along the way and people felt like the ends justified the means, and people forgot that the way that you talk about someone is being heard by many people. The way you criticize people and those types of conversations that you engage with does impact yourself, the way you think about yourself, the way you think about other people, and is just genuinely unkind and unhelpful to me anyway. I think it is so much more valuable to criticize when she's dishonest, to talk about the way that she promotes things to her audience and the kind of behaviors that she engages in. But I don't think that means that you get free reign to talk about how heavy or light that you think she is, about her side profile, her arms, whatever. Like, I don't care. Her arms and her body is irrelevant to her using a foundation. And I think this is basically me saying, get a grip. Don't be a bully. High school bullies, don't be a bully. Like, I'm sorry. I will not accept bullying behavior. Regardless if you like someone or not, don't be a bully, because it just ruins your whole argument. It just makes you seem like you're being unkind and nasty girls. And you may have had a good point, but now all I hear is that you're being mean. Sorry. Why do we want to make people feel bad about the way that they look? Why do we want to dilute our arguments and our criticisms with this type of behavior? I don't know. It just really felt like the criticism of her potentially using filters or color grading as she used in the fake tan, like all of those things were used as a gateway to just take every single picture of her and just absolutely tear her apart. And to me, that's just not all right. It's not okay. You know, like, I just think there are so many other ways you can talk about people's behavior and actions and decisions and the relationships that they have with their audience and all of those things. And have I said anything about the way that she looks? No, because it's not relevant. And I don't want people to feel bad about the way they look. That's just mean. That's unkind. That's unhelpful. So anyway, the reason that I bring that all up is because I do think it's a relevant and important criticism that has been brought up when it comes to criticizing Mikayla, because people are like, you are now just taking it too far. Everyone's being mean. Everyone's just tearing her apart. And I wanted to make that like clear distinction that this is not what we're doing here. We are talking about the behavior that she has with her consumption, way that seems to affect her as an influencer, the way she recommends products and the way that she personally consumes products. But I also think it does lead into this personal designer brand haul that she has done, because this video kind of came first and then she did this kind of crazy designer brand haul. And I guess to kind of play like theoretical scenarios, like either A, is this some sort of like retail therapy reaction to how a lot of people have made her feel? Is this to try and make her feel better? And how extreme it ended up being because of the way that she consumes and receives products every day? Or I guess like theoretical option number 2 is that maybe she's celebrating, maybe she's rewarding herself for all the success in her brand and nearly hitting 17 million. At this time she did hit 17 million on TikTok. Like, is this then a celebratory haul? And in that case, all of those arguments still apply, right? Because you have to consume on such a large scale for it to feel special, for it to feel like it hits that spot, for it to feel like you have bought enough for it to mark that occasion. And so with all of that said and all the tangents and everything that we've gone on, I want to show you kind of the highlights of this designer brand haul so you guys can really get a vibe and an understanding of the scale of it. But don't you worry, because I counted all of the products as well, so we will go over that as well.
So I blacked out kind of bad. So let's do my biggest luxury unboxing literally ever. This was the bag you guys wanted me to get the most. Went a little crazy with the bags. Oh my God, the pink. All of a sudden, he brought this out to me. When I tell you my jaw fell on the floor. Prada has extremely nice boots. Look at these. Look at this thing. Really nice for fall. Look at this. Oh my God. These are a sneaker flat. It is so me. Note says, fingers crossed you move to NYC and can shop more often. A little Miu Miu tank. I got this brown Miu Miu t-shirt. I got this little nude Miu Miu t-shirt. I got the jacket to match the bag. I could not say no to this. I couldn't. Oh my God. So different for Louis Vuitton. This is a pair of sneakers. You guys, I like blacked out. This is the bum bag. They have this in so many colors. These might be my favorite shoe. These are so cool. These were very comfortable. Just a simple, shiny black heel. I tell you, I blacked out in every department of this store. I thought this bag was so Chanel. This one for an event. The gold, I need this in silver so bad. This is to go with the first bag that I showed you. It's literally the same thing. And lastly, because of how much I've been traveling, I decided to invest in Rimowa luggage.
So in this haul, she got 12 items from Prada, 12 items from Miu Miu, 15 items from Louis Vuitton, 12 items from Chanel, 1 pair of earrings from Van Cleef, and 2 Rimowa suitcases. So that equals to 52 designer items. 54 if you're including the suitcases. I don't know. Is Rimowa a designer brand? They're definitely a high-end suitcase brand. I cannot help but feel like this haul is a direct result from her constantly receiving so much PR, so many products, constantly buying new makeup. Like the mentality shift and the normalization of receiving so much stuff has now resulted in a 50 plus item designer brand haul. And you can't tell me that these things aren't related. Like you cannot, like, let's do a DNA test. I don't care. 23andMe, let's call her up, because there is no way that these things are not related to each other. There is no way that that happens in a vacuum and that happens in a vacuum. Receiving over 300 PR boxes in a month or half of a month doesn't relate to then buying over 50 designer items. And I wanted to show you guys this video where he actually added up the total amount for all of these products. So I just wanted to play you the end of his video. Let's see how much this is kind of estimated to have costed.
And then the total for both videos is 186,346. And this is obviously pre-tax, so with tax that's like over 200 grand.
Over 180,000 United States doll hairs. And just like I pointed out with her massive PR unboxing videos and how she then went and bought more makeup to do a full face of makeup, after these videos she has 2 other shoe hauls. One with just a bunch of boots. I think there was like 8 shoes. And then she also does an Uggs haul where she gets 4 pairs of Uggs, but one of them was for her mum. So 3 pairs of Uggs. She buys then 10 more basically shoes after having bought that many designer shoes. I cannot fathom that you could even remember, let alone appreciate, treasure, have space, remember to wear, have an event for all of these items within a reasonable amount of time. And I totally understand, like, you have designer brands and products forever, but there is just like, I find it really hard. This is me finding it really hard to believe that there is a way that the human brain, the psychology of the human brain, can truly appreciate and take in all of these products, because it is just so many. And I know a lot of people bring up the price, and I totally agree that the price and the money is obviously obscene, but the quantity is also obscene. The quantity is beyond what like our silly little brains can really appreciate and take in as like either this is a milestone, her New York trip, you know, she's celebrating, whatever reason it was for all of these purchases. I find it hard to believe that you truly can soak those up, you truly can cherish those moments, because it is just so much stuff. Literally 2 animal print bags, literally 2 animal print boots. Like, there is so much stuff, and some that is similar to each other. I know it, I just can't prove it. That the way that she receives products and the amount of stuff that she has in her life has resulted in this haul, has resulted in this seeming normal, has normalized it, has made it okay, and or equally as well as including the fact that because so many people are finding overconsumption taxing, overwhelming, exhausting online, that there is also that incentive to do a haul like this. Like, all of a sudden, unboxing a Chanel bag is no longer enough, because Mikayla Nogueira unboxed how many Chanel products? 12. Unboxed how many Louis Vuitton products? 15. How many Miu Miu? 12 Miu Miu. 12 Miu Miu. I just truly don't believe that the human brain can really absorb all of that stuff or really take the value from that stuff when it is so much. And I think it's like a lot of things in life where it's like all of a sudden this isn't enough, so I need more. All of a sudden this much PR, all of a sudden this much of a haul, all of a sudden this much of a makeup review isn't enough. So it just keeps escalating to this point where it feels like she's going for the nachos of the final boss. She's going for the Olympic gold. Like, it just feels like this escalation of the needing of the more, the dopamine hit of the more, and the content engagement of the more has resulted in this overconsumption chaotic mess. And I think it's really interesting to look in the comments as well, because a lot of people are saying like, I need to find relatable influencers. This is such a slap in the face. So are we done with influencers yet? This is so tone deaf to do in a recession. Disgusting. And I think this is such a genuine and honest reaction of how society and people on social media feel when they see this type of a haul, feel when they see influencers spending in ways that most people could never fathom, spending an amount of money that equates to, obviously the total haul is well over most people's yearly salaries, but just even like one part of the haul equaling to a yearly salary. And I think what is really interesting about these criticisms is that a lot of people try to brush off of these criticisms, and I think it is because that reaction, whilst yes, is so true and is so real and is such a genuine reflection of what is happening in the world right now, a lot of people brush it off as like, well, that's nothing to do with Mikayla, or that's not actually a criticism of the amount of things that she bought, or, you know, people are just being jealous, they're being haters. And I think that is really scary and concerning and sad, because the whole criticism and the whole concern and the whole worry with this being normalized in Mikayla's head and now to her audience is that the real criticisms of these videos and of this type of consumption and of this type of mentality gets lost when people are bringing up really true and serious concerns about what's happening in the world and most people's realities, because people are like, well, that's your problem, that's those people's problem, that's nothing to do with Mikayla, she's spending the money that she's earned how she wants. And it's like, first off, that's such a bizarre way to respond to people, but also when people react like that, it's as if they're acting like this is otherwise fine, right? This is otherwise a normal amount of things to purchase, and then go on to purchase more. Like, all we ever want is more. I love more than I had before. So let me take you to the nearest store. Can you hear it ring? And again, to take it back to Shania Twain's Ka-Ching, I'm sorry, I really did not plan to use this song to make a point in this video, but I've started and I can't stop. But in that song, she goes, when you're broke, go and get a loan. Take out another mortgage on your home. Consolidate so you can afford to go and spend some more when you get bored. Dun, 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 dun. Mind you, I was 7 years old singing this song. I had no idea, but I knew all the words. But I think those lyrics are a bigger reflection of, if her audience is inspired or sees this type of spending as relatable or aspirational, that is the behavior that they have to engage in to get what she has. She spent most people's salary in part one of her haul. So the reality is, for people to try and achieve, to try and chase what Mikayla is portraying and making aspirational in her content is absolutely unattainable and unreasonable, and not a type of consumption that you even want to engage with. And to again that push back to those people who say, you know, she deserves it, she works hard, it's her money, she can do what she wants, stop trying to tell her what to do. Like, yes, sure, but she is also an influencer. This is also content she is putting online, and whether or not people want to acknowledge it, it's not what you overtly say, it's what you do that influences people. And as we've seen time and time again with Mikayla recommending products and them selling out, recommending small businesses and them going viral, she has influence, and you cannot deny that. So whether or not people want to just be like, I'm sorry, I can't see what she's doing here, The reality is that the subliminal message, the subconscious message, the undertone of this content is that this is aspirational. She has influence on her audience, and her audience looks up to her and looks to her for recommendations. Whether or not people like it, whether or not she is saying it overtly, it does not matter that she is not saying it overtly, because that is actually not how the message often gets portrayed. The message actually gets portrayed through the actions, through the lifestyle, through her success. This is now her showing her audience how she uses her success, how she flaunts her success, and what she does with her money now that she is successful. And I think that really does matter, because we know she has influence, we know she impacts people's behaviors, we know she impacts young people's behaviors and what they want to achieve and what they want to do. So we cannot pretend like her just posting a haul of over 50 designer items doesn't have impact, it doesn't matter, and is not influencing her audience that looks up to her and trusts her. I feel like I went a bit ranty there. I don't know, was it good? Did I do okay? But I also think I often come back to this worry and this concern where it's like, you no longer have to be liked to be successful. Yes, a lot of people like Mikayla, but a lot of people criticize her too. But both of those things just seem to make her more popular. And so becoming this kind of overconsumption, over consuming, massive PR, massive makeup collections, all of this stuff, like, it doesn't matter if people love it or hate it. It just drives her engagement and makes her more popular. So there ends up being a motivator for her to do it. But like I said before, without considering the costs of it, without considering what it's actually doing to her and her perception of normal and her perception of consumption, and the way that she not only purchases in her life, but the way that she promotes products to her audience, the fact that she is accepting so much product, so much PR, that her lounge, her giant mansion lounge, by the way, is filled with boxes that she now has to deal with them. Even if, yes, she does give away a lot of that product, the content and the message behind the content is still getting and taking and receiving so much stuff, and it clearly impacts the way that she purchases, because we see it in this designer brand haul. It just kind of leaves me with these sort of rhetorical, open-ended questions of like, does buying that much make her feel better? Does having that much stuff make her feel better? Does she even get to enjoy what she has, what she owns? Does she even remember what she has so that she can enjoy it, so that she can remember, oh, I bought that thing in New York? Like, it just seems so hard to, oh yes, I have to attribute over 50 things that I bought in New York, instead of like buying one nice bag as being like, this is my amazing memento, this is my favorite bag, this is the thing that is my reward for achieving these things. Now it's this mountain, this background full of stuff. But yes, I would love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. So please let me know. I always really appreciate your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions. So please let me know. Also, if you think I've missed any kind of aspect or thought, and I would also love to know that in the comments down below. Also, let me know, have you ever heard Shania Twain's song Ka-Ching? I feel like probably it's a bit niche, but it's a great song. Everyone go stream Ka-Ching. My dog is here. He knows that we're wrapping it up, people, or he's really hoping that we are, either way. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. If you stay till the end, you are a real one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Nobody, I didn't even invite you. And if you want to keep up with me between my uploads, I'm on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll link my vlog channel down below. And YouTube should be recommending another one of my videos on the screen right now. But don't you worry, guys, because I'm not funny there either. Bye.